Hi, my name is Kent, and the title of this video is A Case for Veganism. Before I get started, I just want to say thank you for all the people that watch my videos, and that may be one or two of you out there in the world, but whoever's watching them, I appreciate it. You know, I've been a trainer, a spa director, a fitness director in the industry for almost 35 years, and about 20 years ago I discovered the power of a plant-only diet, and it's now become the mission in my life. I want to make sure I can do whatever I can to get this message out to the world. It is absolutely that important. So, again, thank you for watching, and here we go. Well, there's one single act that every one of us has absolute control over, bar none, and that's what we choose to eat. We literally vote for our food choices at the grocery store, a restaurant, a drive-thru, a food joint, a convenience store. Every time we make a purchase, it's telling industry what we want. So that's demand and supply. When we order it, buy it, or crave it, big business will continue to supply it. So no matter what the health or environmental costs, they'll make it for us. Of all the food choices we're making, the choice of eating animals and animal products is by far the biggest negative impact on our personal health and very dramatically on the health of our planet. Let's talk about the environment first. We all live on this planet and share its resources. We know that 2/3 of the planet is water, but only 3% of that water is fresh water. And only 2% of that fresh water is ice. So that leaves 1% of the planet's available water for all of us to share fresh water. Now, of course, we humans think of ourselves first. Without water, we'll die. And right now, there's 7 billion humans on planet Earth, while just 50 years ago, there was only 2 billion humans on planet Earth. By the year 2100, there's expected to be 12 billion people sharing that 1% of available fresh water. Kind of a big deal. But we're not alone on this planet. Other living creatures and plants need to share that 1% of available fresh water. And this is where it gets a little disturbing. Because of our voting habits, when it comes to food, there's presently 70 billion factory farm animals being raised worldwide to satisfy our demand for animal products. Those animals require a dramatic amount of water when it comes to growing the food that they eat and the water they drink. It's estimated by the United Nations and other water watch communities that 23% of all the fresh water in the world, 50% of the fresh water here in the United States, and 70% of the fresh water in the western United States where I live, it's being used to grow food specifically for farmed animals. In the meantime, everyone and everything else is taking the blame for our water shortage. We're told to take shorter showers, let our lawns die, tell growers whose plants take more water than normal, like a nut tree or certain fruit trees, to cut back on their crops or to go out of business altogether, while collectively nothing comes as close to the amount of water being used to grow animals. Of all the restrictions being put on water use, animal agriculture gets a free pass with no restrictions at all. In addition to the massive amounts of water being used by factory farming, in the US alone, 80% of that farmland, 70 to 90% of all the crops grown, the grain crops, soybean crops, are dedicated solely for raising animals for food. Millions of people in the US and 2 billion people worldwide do not get enough food to eat. But factory farmed animals are fed until they're as fat as they can get to warrant the most money at slaughter. They never go hungry. In the meantime, our forests are being leveled to make room for more grazing area and to grow crops to feed those animals. This is a huge problem in South America, in the Amazon, where an acre a minute is being leveled to support animal agriculture. The Amazon and all vegetation on planet Earth are the lungs of our planet. Plants absorb the carbon dioxide and then breathe out the oxygen that we all need to live on, along with that 1% of fresh water to survive. Well, then there's the airborne diseases that are escalating worldwide: bird flu, avian flu, swine flu, on and on. 70% of all the antibiotics made in this world goes to factory farmed animals. This is because it's needed to keep them alive until slaughter in the horrendous living conditions that they're put into. The overuse of antibiotics creates antibiotic-resistant bacteria, superbugs. So you add that to the waste that 70 billion plus factory farm animals are producing, because there's no waste system to take care of their poop. It creates these dead zones and gets into our waters and rivers and oceans where nothing will grow, and even more airborne diseases are created. So why do we put up with an industry that's so inefficient, that uses so much water, so much land, so much food, and produces the majority of greenhouse gases on planet Earth, 51% of the greenhouse gases on planet Earth? Why do we put up with an industry that does that? Protein. We are obsessed, convinced that without a burger, a chicken, a sandwich, chicken sandwich or hot dogs or scrambled eggs, a steak, fish, that we won't survive. While quite frankly, the opposite is true. The science, the case studies, the facts prove otherwise. Animal protein is the problem of our ill health, not the cure. We'd be immensely better off if we stopped eating animals and got our protein from the same sources that the cow that we eat, the pig that we eat, the chickens that we eat, elephants, gorillas, racehorses, every other animal on this planet that has an anatomy similar to ours. That's where they get their protein, plants. All those animals are vegan. 75% of all the animals on this planet, including humans, have an anatomy perfectly designed to take in soft, easy to acquire plant food. We are the total opposite design of a carnivore like a lion or an omnivore like a bear. Humans have slow foot speed, small mouths, short dull teeth that can never bite through the skin of another animal. And even if we could, we absolutely wouldn't like the taste of the blood. It would make us sick. And when fiberless animal flesh enters our bodies, our low acidic stomach, our long winding intestines, they're not designed to absorb and eliminate that flesh. As the meat sits in our 11 times the length of our torso, in our 98.6 degree internal body temperature, it's the perfect environment to produce the same type of bacteria that breaks down a dead animal on the side of the road. This is a disease-producing acidic environment when you eat acidic foods. Whole fruits, vegetables, legumes, whole grains, nuts, and seeds are alkaline, and they are the perfect foods for the human design and can be made into an unlimited variety of tasty, filling meals. We cannot continue to justify the amount of water, the amount of food being used, the land being used, as well as the diseases being produced in our quest for protein. Not to mention the immense amount of pain and suffering that 70 billion plus land animals are subjected to every year, along with 100 billion plus sea creatures. It's unnecessary. As much as we don't want to admit it, humans are not that important on this planet. We may have gotten the bigger brain and the ability to reason, but what have we brought to the table for the betterment of planet Earth? Not much. We got iPhones, we got bombs, we got pollution, but what are we bringing to the planet? If a bee or an ant were to vanish from this planet, if all the bees and ants were to vanish, the Earth might not be able to survive. But if humans were gone, this planet would thrive. Now, we were put on this Earth to oversee it and protect it and all of its inhabitants. Unfortunately, we're not doing a very good job. I have the confidence in my fellow human species. If we are given the correct information and minimize, or better yet, eliminate our unnatural appetite for eating animals, we could save this planet and save our health. Stop believing the marketing hype. We do not need animals for protein. We don't need them for calcium. We don't need them for iron. We don't need them for omega-3s or any other nutrient. Plants are the original source of all nutrients on planet Earth. So after absorbing this information and researching it for yourself, don't think you can call yourself an environmentalist or a humanitarian if you still choose to eat meat. I believe our future population will look back on this period of our planet's time in sadness, but then also with pride. We will realize the problem, we will correct it, and just like any other disease, we have to get to the root of the problem first instead of using band-aids to try to correct the problem. That's why I believe with one single act, the whole planet will benefit. Animals need to be taken off the table. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And that's all it will take. Go to my website, onesingleact.org. Start researching it for yourself. Watch the videos I suggest, the books I suggest. Go to the links and the doctors who have all the science to help you make your decision and join the revolution, the meat-free vegan revolution. Thank you so much.